welcome to my channel. I'm Julie with Bookshelf by Julie. Today we're doing our sip and craft. We're making some progress on our slow stitching embroidery project. We've got it put together, right? So we're going to do these two little squares, or part of squares, today. And we're going to do our running stitch around. Now, if you've forgotten, we have our examples. We've got our running stitch here. One of the first things that we did was the running stitch, right? So we're going to do that, and then we're going to use the chain stitch and stem stitch, and that's down here. That's down here. This is the stem stitch and this is the chain stitch. So we're going to use that to make the little, I don't know, twig thing and the little flower. Also, you don't have to, okay, if you don't really like if you haven't gotten it yet, you will get it. But if you haven't gotten the French knot yet, just sew a bead on there. It's easy, right? So we're going to use the chain though to make our little petals, and then we'll do a French knot in the middle. We've got here and we've got here. We're going to put our twiggy piece here, and we're going to do an outline for our little flower. Now, I'm going to be using this freebie sheet because it's got a lot on it, and you know, if you're really good at drawing and freehanding and all that and have loads of confidence, just go ahead and do it freehand. You don't have to use this. I'm doing this because I'm on video. Anything and everything can go wrong on video, okay? So, and using the little light board, you know, they're cheap, guys. They're super cheap. So they're worth the investment. You'll use them over and over doing this. Even people who have been doing embroidery and stuff for like 50 years, they'll still draw a design on before they start embroidering it, because it's safer that way and it works out right, and you know, all the things. Okay, so we're going to do our running stitch first, and then we'll come back to our drawing our design on. Okay, the running stitch is simple and easy. I've got all my needles threaded. I'm trying to be efficient here, guys. Okay, so not using anything. I mean, you know, and you could, if you wanted to, you could start over here and leave your end hanging. I do that sometimes with, and then when I end up, I just tie a knot and make a bow there. It's cute. It is. Okay, it's cute. We'll just do it, okay? So we're going to start here, and that'll be where we put our bow. Remember, we're going to keep about 1/2 inch-ish in, because we're going to finish off our edges eventually with whatever we decide to finish them off with. So we're just going to do our little running stitch through here. You're already going to be ornery with me, huh? Okay. So, again, especially if you're new, I'm going to leave about that much hanging, so I'll have enough to tie my bow. If you're new, don't pull it too tight, okay? Just a gentle tug, and just don't get too long of a piece of thread, okay? Because that can be problematic. All right, I'm just going to do the simple running stitch, not too big, not too little, just a simple running stitch going around through here. Try to keep it as straight as possible. Now, you do have the option later, if you want to take this out. I'm not sure I will, especially if I'm going to tie a bow in it, right? You don't want to take it out. Now, this is from my old quilting days, you know. I always kept a pair of pliers. Keep that. But they're handy if you're doing something like this. Just, you know, they're handy. You can do these one at a time. I just find a running stitch is really quick and easy, so I just kind of go in and out and do a few at a time, and especially since I'm on, you know, a video, I want it to be a little faster. Don't go fast though. If you're just doing it at home and just, you know, just take your time and all that. So that's a big part of this craft, is taking your time. It doesn't have to be fast. Best if it's not fast, you know. Just slow and steady. Yeah. Slow and steady. Just get it done, and then you have something really pretty to work with. And I'll try to keep that long so I can tie my bow. So, yeah. A lot of times it's very creative if you want to, like, hide your ends. Some people are really serious about hiding their ends, okay? But we are going to cover all this, so it doesn't matter. Whatever's on the inside is going to be covered up. And most of the time, that's what you do, okay? You cover it. But if you want to hide them in plain sight. It's a thing. Okay. So, when you're turning a corner, all right, you're going to go up here and then just start this way. That's super easy. It's almost like magic, okay? It's almost like magic. Yep. See, it goes up here and it just magically is that way now, since you just, you know, went that way. I'm silly sometimes, so you want to keep your, from the edge, you know, half-ish an inch, so that you can finish that off if you want to put a border there, if you want to put just a blanket stitch around, whatever you want to put. That's all up to you. We'll get there eventually, and then we'll decide. Yep, running stitch, super easy, super quick. Can be straight, it can be lopsided, whatever you want to do with it. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys, like I said. Don't worry about that. Just get the stitches in and enjoy the process, right? Yep. Okay. I think with this, I'm probably going to keep one and give the other one to someone. I don't know. I have to find somebody that would enjoy a needlebook. It's not always easy to find somebody that still does this nowadays, you know? Yeah, I'm having to think now. Who does this? It's becoming a lost art, I think, in some ways. I mean, I don't know. We'll keep it alive. There are a lot of people that are doing it again, but sometimes people get started and then they, you know, they stop. It does take time. You don't have instant gratification with it, okay? But you have a lot of pretty with it. So, there's that. And I don't know, with me, I always have the idea in mind. The end of the project is in my mind. It's ever evolving, but yeah, it's in there. And so, it's just is what it is to me. Okay, now, like magic up here, over here, I came to the end of where I want to go, and I went down under, okay? So when you come to the end on a running stitch and you want to turn the corner again, you just simply come back up. And, you know, the magic is on the other side. Okay, so I know I'm being silly, but, you know, to me it's a fun thing. It's a peaceful thing. It is. So it can become your happy place when you're doing embroidery. Okay? Now, just in and out. It's that slow bit of stitching that just gives you peace. Yep. Gentle tugs, remember, gentle tugs. Because with a running stitch, it's also a gathering stitch. So it will gather. And then it will be gathered. Okay, sorry. I'm, just being silly. Okay, I'm going to start right there for my magic corner. There you go. Yeah, you don't want to gather a needle book. You just want to, and the needle can kind of guide you and keep you a little straight. You can go crooked, but, it can kind of guide you to being a little bit straight. Okay. Now, you don't have to just pick the ones that I'm picking for putting in your squares. There's a lot of things to choose from on this freebie sheet. I've drawn images, a lot of things to choose from. So pick the ones you like. I'm going to kind of do samey because that's the way I am. So there's that. But, pick the ones you like and go with that. Because it's going to be your needle book, so do the ones you like. Or if you've got something else that you want to put on there, do that. It's all good, right? I'm just fiddling with the thread. I'm going to come up right next to that where I'm going to tie my knot. Because, yeah. Now, like I said, don't get too pulley with it. You got to not gather it, okay? There's that thread again. Okay, now it's gone. Okay, now we're just going to simply take that off so I don't stab myself. I'm good at stabbing myself. We're going to tie our knot. If you hold it and pull one side at a time, then you're not pulling your gathering, your running stitch. You're pulling just this, okay? You want a good couple of double knots, though, so that you don't have, anything weird going on. Okay, now, and we can tie a little bow at the end, because it's cute. you don't have to do this, just saying. You can just leave a couple of strands of thread hanging down, and that's cute too. But yeah, hiding your knots in plain sight, that is really awesome, I think. Now, if you want that to stay really well, you probably would have to put some glue on your middle knot, okay? I'm going to cut this long in case I have to retie it. Just saying. Okay, I'm going to put this back over here so it doesn't find me later. Okay, now we've got our running stitches and our bow. So we're going to find what we're going to put here. So we're going to put our little chain one. So I'm going to use probably, let's see. No, don't want to turn on, huh? Okay, I'm going to use something like that size. But what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to draw that flower, which I'm not going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 petals. And that's going to be my flower. Hope you can see that. Okay. Now, for this one, for this little thing here, I took part of one of these long ones, and I wanted it to go whatever way I wanted it to go, okay? So now you can take one of the bigger ones and do like that. This one's a little bit bigger space than the other one that I had, and I may do that, make it easier, right? If I draw that one on there, I used one of these on the other one. See, that's just not quite big enough, I guess, is what I'm saying. Let me move this over. Okay, I think this one might be the one I want to do. Just this part of it. You don't have to use the whole thing, right? Okay. Yep, right there, like so. And I'm going to do the line first, like I said before. I'm just going to take the line, and that gives you what you're drawing from, right? Right down through there, and that's as far as I want to go with it. Then we've got this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, okay? All right, turn off. Okay, so now we've got where we're going to put our flower, and we've got that. Doesn't have to be perfect, guys. All this is going to get erased off, remember? This is not the end product. This is the part that we're going to embroider. This is the design we're putting on there, okay? So let's do our little flower. Let's see. I've got to get my pink here, right? Little flowers are so fun. I think they are anyways. So what we want to do is we want to have our stitches coming up. Can you see that? We want our stitches coming up from the middle of the design. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm going to get one of those things that'll hold it for me one of these days and hold it right exactly where I want it so I can show you really good. But right now I don't have that, so yep. All right, so up from the middle, down in the middle. Yeah. Don't get hung up with your strings from your bow, right? Okay, so we've got that. We're going to come up at the end of our line. We made our lines about the same length, right? So don't let it twist on you. There you go. A petal, right? So we're going to go right back down where we came up there too. So I mean, you know, simple and easy. They're, I guess you would call them a detached chain, right? Okay, so back up in the middle again. Like so. Don't pull them hard. Just a gentle tug, right? Just a gentle tug. And we're going to do our end of the line. Go through there. Gentle tug. And back down where we came up. Yep. Now we've got 2 of them. We're going to go right back in the middle again. And as you can see, everything's just kind of quiet and peaceful back there. We're not having any problems. We're just going to keep going up and down in that middle to get our petals. It's a small space to work in, but it's there, so why not put something in it, right? Give it a gentle tug. Yeah, like so. And there's our next petal. Middle. And down. Make sure you go through the loop before you pull through there, because, then you have to just do it over. If you ever do that, like you're making one of these little detached chains petals, and you go up and you forget to go through the thing and you pull it and it just goes right down to make a little bitty tiny stitch, well, that's okay. You just go right back up where you came out and start your stitch over. It's fine. It'll be fine. Okay, right down in the middle. See, if you ever got to this point and forgot to do the next step, sometimes that happens. Just start over with your stitch, not the whole flower, okay? Just with your stitch. Okay, right up through there. And keep it from twisting. You don't want it to twist. Sometimes it tries to do that. Get these strings out of the way. And right back down in there. Super cute, guys. One more petal and we've got this part done. Now all we have to do is try to stay in your middle. Okay, just try to stay in your middle. Then we have to just put a French knot in the middle, or a bead. You can put a bead. Look, every time something calls for a French knot and you just don't want to do it, put a bead in there. It's that simple. And a bead is easy, right? You just have to have a needle that'll go through the tiny bead hole. Okay? Now, isn't that cute? Even if you don't put a bead or a French knot, that's cute. Okay, let's do this. Making sure I didn't go in there. Okay. All right, we're just going to simply tie this off. Now, I had someone tell me that they were having trouble with this part. This is the easy part, guys. Keep your loop here, okay? Put your needle through there, around and around. I do 3. You can do 2. And then just pull it. It's kind of like the French knot, only it's not. It's a cheater knot. It's a knot, okay? It's a knot. All right. So we've got that. And this is going right back in that pin cushion so it doesn't get lost. So now I'm going to we're going to do the little French knot, and then we'll be finished with this little part. Do I have a knot in that? I do. Okay, so up through the middle, again, it's the middle, always in the middle on this, okay? Always in the middle, okay? So now the difference between the back knot that I just did and this front one is this one you want it to come out perfect. I mean, you just, not perfect, but the best you can do. So you need to hold on to this On the back, you're holding on to your loop, okay? This, you need to hold on to this because you don't have a loop. And then you go right back down in the middle. And I have a video where we do these, right? So if you get a little bit worried about doing them, you can watch that video as many times as you want. It's all, you know, up to you. And these just take practice. I mean, really. Now see, this is a loop, okay? The other side, you just had one strand, and that was that. And now we're going to just tie it off and make our awesome little cheater knot, okay? And there it is. Okay. Cute, right? Okay. Yep. All right, now let's do this one. This is a little bit bigger than the other one. We had more space. So hopefully I may not have enough thread on this needle. We'll see. Okay, we're going to start up here. I start at the top. You can start at the bottom, whichever way you want to do that, right? Okay. And this is the stem stitch. So we're going to go here, here, right? It's kind of like a back stitch with a twist, right? Stay on the same side, this side or that side. Whichever way you go with it, stay on the same side, okay? All right. We're going to go here and here. And you see how it gets that little twist, okay? Don't get your stitches too big, but you don't want them too small, especially if you're first starting out. That can throw you a little bit. So keep them to where it's comfortable for you, okay? And it might be easier to use a hoop if you would prefer. All this can be done on a hoop or off a hoop, whichever way you want to go with it. Right now I'm just using, you know, I'm just off hoop for the moment. A gentle tug, not too tight. It's a lot to hold in your hands, so a hoop could be a lot easier. And if you're doing it on a hoop, you may have to go down and then back up, and then down and back up, because it'll hold it pretty taut, right? When you get to an end of a line with a stem stitch, you kind of don't want it to look like just a regular back stitch. So you want to do that extra little bit and put that on there and then go back down. So that you always have that twist going all the way down through there, right? Okay. So then we're going to do, I think I'm just going to do the back stitch on these. You could do stem stitch, you could. But I think I'm just going to do the back stitch on these. On the other one, I think I did the chain. You could do the chain. See how this looks and we'll see. Because I might want to do the chain. You can always change your mind, guys. It's a thing. We have them. We can use them. We can change them. It's a thing. Now with a back stitch, when you come to the end and you want to turn like a corner or a sharp whatever, you go over here and come back up, right? And then that gets you that corner of the leaf. So there we are. Yep, it's very peaceful to do these, or it is to me. And believe me, it will be to you guys too. When you get, if you're just starting out and you get the hang of this, you'll just sit and before you know it, the time will have just melted away and you'll have something beautiful that you've done. That's how that works. Okay. Now, I like it, but I'm going to have to get some more thread, so I'm going to go ahead and tie this off. And then, yep, it's getting kind of short on me. So, when it gets really, really short, you just have to tie it like you would a regular knot. And I may have to do that on this. Okay, let's do that. It works. This is the 6-stranded cotton thread. So you just separate it and tie it. Now, if this was a 1-strand, you know, like the pearlized and stuff, you have to get creative with that. Don't get too short. Don't let it get too short on you. Okay? Because that becomes problematic. Okay. There. Okay. Hold on a sec. Okay. Got more thread. I'm getting low on that color. I'm going to have to order me some more. I hope they have it. If not, I hope they have something very similar to it. Because that's a thing. I like it. It's a pretty color. And I have used it quite a lot. With doing this. I used it all the way around here in the stem stitch. That made that really pretty. Just saying. Okay. Quick back stitches. I think I'm going to do chains up here though, because they're smaller and I think that'll work. They don't have to be the same stitch everywhere, okay? We can do them however we wish, right? Now, I think that's another thing that I like about doing different kind of crafts and arts and things. Yeah, it's been done before, and people have done it a certain way, but you can make it your own. You can do things however you want. And if it doesn't turn out that great, just say it's rustic, you know. That works. It does. And then, you know, you got a whole other genre of art. We have our ways. So, yeah. We can learn a lot about our art and about ourselves when we're doing it. I think we can, anyways. It does take a minute to do these things, but when that minute is done, you've got something really beautiful. And if you're going to gift these to someone, they have a treasure forever, really. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? All right. I think it is. We're going to have some really beautiful, and I'm already starting to think about the next project. That's the way I am. Because we're going to do some more things with this. Our stitching and embroidery, and I mean, you know, this is just showing you that you can use those few stitches that you've already got on your sampler. You can use them to make something really awesome. It doesn't have to be just something in a hoop and you hang it on the wall. You can make things. This is kind of like creating your own fabric in a way, right? You use all these fabrics to make a fabric, and then you put your designs on it and your stitches, and you've created something completely different than it was at the beginning, right? So, there you go. Yeah. We're going to make some really beautiful projects doing these things. I just know it. I just know it. I'm trying to get this last stitch in there just at the right place. Okay. One more, and then we're going to do 2 chains, and this one is done. Next, I think we're going to do some blanket stitch in the next video, so be practicing up on that. We're going to do blanket stitch around these squares because they're going to need it to hold them down, right? Now, I've done that on the other one already, so we'll do some blanket stitch around the squares that we've added on, and then we'll do another square, do another design on the inside of another square, right? So that's your homework to prepare for. Get your squares started, and you know, it doesn't have to be a big design. This is a teeny weeny, that's so cute, right? So cute. So yeah, just get your designs picked out, practice up your blanket stitch. If you don't want to use the blanket stitch, I think I did the fly stitch on some of these. That's the fly stitch, and that's the blanket stitch. Anyways, you can go either way with that, okay? So, if you don't want to use the blanket stitch, use the fly stitch. Just some stitch that's going to go over. And I think those are the 2 that we've got on our samplers that go over. You can go over the edges and keep them down, right? You can use a back stitch, but that gets complicated to do. It gets complicated to do that. Okay, we're going to go up here now and do our chains. We're going to pretend that this part is the middle of our flower, okay? So we're going to go up and back down. Right there at the stem of the thing. And then we're going to come up here at the end, go through our loop, and there's our chain. Okay. Yep. Those few simple stitches that we've got on our sampler will take us so many places. Now I have a few more that we're going to add in. I do. But for now, this is what we're doing, and it's just so pretty. And when we do add them in, they'll be easy. I promise. I promised all this would be easy, and I keep my promises because it's all going to be easy. Okay? All right. Let me turn this doohickey on so that we can get our lines off here, right? Okay. Now we've got that one on and that one on. Just so cute. We're going to just do our, just make sure, oops, it'll show. Just you want to make sure that it's not going to show on the other side. So you're mostly going through stitches or the back part of your fabric, okay? Not something that's going to show on the other side. You don't want it to show you. This isn't a stitch per se, right? Just if you need to, take your fingernail and push that knot down, and that'll work. Okay, now put that back in my, I don't want my needles to get away. I'm still loving this, guys. So if you want to make the investment, that thing has been awesome. Excuse me. Okay, let me get my doohickey. So we can do this. This one you can't see the lines, but this one you can see a few around the edges, right? So we want to just give it a little bit of a iron down, right? And they're magically gone. Okay, is this cool or what? Okay, you can turn off now. Thank you. All right. There we go. We've got this one and this one. And we've got our running stitch around. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just needs to be done, right? Is that cool? So, there we go. This one and this one. Next time, like I said, we're going to do some of the blanket stitch so that we get all of the squares sewn down so that they don't come lifting off, okay? So we have to do that, and then we'll pick another square to do. Maybe we'll do something on the back this time. We've got a whole bunch to choose from. Okay, you guys go get caught up, practice your stitches. We've got these samplers full of stitches that we've done. You know how to do these, right? Because we've done them. So we're using all these stitches to make these beautiful little book cover for the needle books, okay? And so yeah, just enjoy it. Have a good time. And I will see you next time. You guys take care. Thanks for watching. TTFN.